Who likes to be interrupted? Nobody, ever. None of us love it. And yet it can be really easy to do to each other. And sometimes we have certain friends and that's a behavior they have in their conversation style that can be really hard to talk through or to walk away feeling seen. And so what can we do to help strengthen those friendships around less interruption? Because if we just show up and say, stop interrupting me, or you always interrupt me, it just produces a defense mechanism, which all of us would have, right? And we would say, I don't always interrupt you. And then we would feel shame and we feel bad. And it doesn't necessarily lend itself to bonding and to feeling better in our friendship. But what can we do to potentially help inspire more interaction with less interruption? So I'm doing a series right now where I am just suggesting 3 different ways that we might approach different issues, and in this case, friends who interrupt too much, that we can practice different things and experiment with hopes that you'll try maybe 1 or all 3 of these in your friendships. The first one is, if we know we have something that we want to talk about it, we can be preemptively affirming before we have the conversation about what we hope will happen during that conversation. So set the vision, if you will, where we can say ahead of time, I have something I'm trying to think through, and I would love your input. I think what would help me the most is if I could just brain dump everything and then have you maybe help me ask clarifying questions or find patterns, but I think I just need to kind of it's just all swirling in my head. It would feel so good to get it out. That kind of says to your friend, okay, I'm just going to give her the space to take this for a little while, right? And so you're owning it and kind of basically asking for the stage, for the space, for the time. And that's beautiful. Another way you could kind of ask for it ahead of time is to be able to just say, I have a story I want to tell you about something that happened the other day. And it might take a few minutes, but I can't wait to tell you the whole thing. I can't wait for you to respond at the end. And so here you're talking about the whole thing and the end, right? And so we're just subtly kind of asking for what we want. That's a really important skill. I think sometimes we just start stepping into interaction and we don't think ahead of time about actually what response do we want from them. And I have a whole series on responding and knowing what response we want. But in these cases, it's really important. Are you wanting affirmation? Are you wanting brainstorming? Are you wanting advice? Because that's also a very good way for us to say ahead of time, I'm going to tell you something, and at the end, I would love for you to validate how horrible of a situation this is. Or at the end, I would love for you to brainstorm with me, or I'd love to hear your advice. And so, but we're telling them what we want and when we want it. And it's not in the middle of the story. So let's be preemptive about it. The second thing we can practice is when the moment happens, when they interrupt, let's think through ahead of time and practice what we can say in those moments. Let's have 1 or 2 lines that we are this is what I can say in that moment. And to be able to say, hang on 1 second. I'm afraid if I'm interrupted that I'll lose my train of thought. And there was just a few other things I wanted to say about this. And so it's our nice way of saying I need to keep going. And I'm afraid if I'm interrupted that I'll forget these things. And so it's a nice way of saying, please don't interrupt me, right? Let me finish what I'm saying. Or maybe we can just say, they interrupt and they start saying something and go, that sounds like a big situation too. Maybe what we can do is talk about my situation. I want to finish telling you about it and get your advice. And then we can turn the attention all on you and we can talk about your situation. And I'm happy to help in whatever ways feel good. And so in that response, we're honoring that they shared something. And now we're saying, okay, how about we split up the rest of the time and finish what I was talking about and then come back to dealing with this. And in that, we're modeling this is how it goes. We stay on one person and be of support. And then I'm happy to have it with you too. The time is coming for you. A lot of people just are afraid that if they don't jump in, they're not going to get their chance. So this is a beautiful way for us to say, I'm taking my chance and I'm definitely going to give you your chance too. And so we just want to practice having a line or 2 that we're ready with when they do interrupt. Because what we don't want to have happen is just follow the interruption and you walk away feeling frustrated and unseen and you didn't get to finish your story and you tell yourself a story that they don't really care and so on and on. It just ends up building resentment. So your invitation in this is to say, okay, I'm not going to just shut up, but I don't need to be angry either. So what's my third way? What's the option in there that allows me to say I'm still talking, and do it in a way that just says, I know you didn't mean to interrupt, kind of. And so like, let's just be like, bring it back and stay focused on one thing at a time. And so practice thinking about a statement or two that feels good to you in the moment when you're ready to pull it out, for sure. And the third way that I'm going to suggest that we bring more awareness in our friendship around interrupting is a little of a surprising one maybe, but it is to model it. So pay attention to when we interrupt or not, and point those things out, because we can sometimes presence the impact of interruption and by putting it on ourselves as opposed to putting it on somebody else. And so an example of that would be when we do interrupt, say, oh, I am so sorry. It's hard to not interrupt, but I'm really trying not to interrupt people because it's so important so please, I'm sorry. It's all you again. And so point it out when you interrupt and make a statement about, like, that's not something I like, and I'm sorry, and I don't want to be somebody who interrupts. I want you to be able to feel free to keep talking, so it's all you. And so model the behavior that we want them to think, oh, do I do that? Do I interrupt? Or maybe when you want to interrupt, you say, oh, I have something I want to say about that, but I don't want to interrupt your story, so I'll come back to it. Now, what happened next? And so that's a great way of being able to, like, catch yourself wanting to say something and even saying it in order to help model I have something I want to, I've been to that country too, or I have an idea, I've read that book too, but I don't want to interrupt you, so keep telling me more. So powerful. So by modeling when we are tempted to interrupt, or when we do interrupt with an apology, we are bringing awareness of how damaging interruptions can be to our conversations, and we're doing it in a way that it's all on us right now. So it allows for them to maybe take that and have more awareness and more personal growth on their own terms. So hopefully one of those ways, all of those ways, might be tools in your tool chest for making sure that you get a chance to talk more in your friendships, and where you will feel less interrupted eventually. I want that. You deserve friendships where you feel like when you're talking, you are being listened to. So subscribe here and keep watching for the rest of this series. I'm so happy to have you.